Brand new location. So yeah, I'm at the gym right now. It's at Fit Life SD San Diego. I work with these guys, and so this is where my personal fitness trainer and personal coach is at. And yeah, I just wanted to showcase the new surrounding. I'm going to be making a few videos here. This is going to be also a look that I'm going to add to the AI avatar that we built in the prior episode. If you haven't seen that one, I highly emphasize that you watch it. It can make your YouTube life a lot better and a lot easier. This is going to be the last episode of how to build a YouTube channel. I believe that we've improved and we've gotten better together. And if you followed along at this point, you'll probably have multiple options of either doing raw recordings like we have been doing, or switching over to an AI avatar after you've done these raw recordings so that you can have an AI avatar that you can work with faster. Like let's say you just have time constraints, and you just have only time to load in a script and have the AI avatar presented for you. That way you can make your YouTube life, once again, easier and more efficient. But once again, I do emphasize that you try to raw. It just does something within you. It helps you to grow yourself and become better. And speaking of better, a couple improvements. We have multiple cameras running today. I'm just gonna try to have different angles, but also different looks for the AI avatar going forward, and a different background location. So just stick with me because we will build an automation with HeyGen at some point, and then we'll actually automate the AI avatar looks to be applied to certain scripts that fit the environment, if that makes any sense. It'll make a lot more sense once we get visual with it. With that being said, this is the last episode on how to build a YouTube channel. I think you have enough material to either do it on your own with raw footage or to do it with the AI avatar at this point. Going forward, we're going to build more complex automations with make.com. So this is a preview, or not a preview, but just an announcement of what we're going to be working with here going forward. Today we're going to work with Descript. This is like the last missing piece, I feel like, to your YouTube channel being somewhat automated. All the programs that I've mentioned so far can be built into an automation, so we are going to focus on that since you guys already know the material. If you haven't watched the last episodes, I do recommend that you do, because we are going to be utilizing all these programs in an automation to simply create videos out of ideas that we have with AI avatars, or you can basically write a good script and then cut your raw footage through an automation as well. So anyway, I don't want to give away too much information and overwhelm you guys, because once again, I think visuals are very important for myself. So maybe that helps you as well. But once again, we're going to get into that in the next couple episodes. So we are going to focus more so on AI automations going forward. Just wanted to talk about real quick, you guys can set goals for yourself and improve yourself. The reason why I'm here at the gym is because I have also done the same. I have continuously strived for goals and have achieved them. But in the past, what I would do is stop at a certain point and just be okay with it and then regress. So I highly emphasize that you don't do that. Get to a goal, set a new one, and then try to achieve the next one. There's so much distances, or there's so much distance that you can basically close by simply just setting more goals. Like, you don't even know how high you can get unless you keep setting these goals and these stakes a little bit higher for yourself. It's amazing. And so I just want to invite all of you to participate in that journey as well. If anyone's interested, leave it in the comments below. I can talk a little bit more about fitness and nutrition and how it changed my life within the last 6 months, I would say, when it comes to dieting right, working out right, and just setting goals. So it's, caring is all about sharing, and so I'm completely open to sharing any kind of information. Just ask me. I'm not afraid to answer, believe me, and I don't hold back. I am known to be a pretty straightforward guy. So yeah, let's get into Descript. What it is, it's basically a software that, in simple terms, can cut your footage based on the script and the text that is loaded in. So this is very simple. You really have to see it to believe it. And it helps me so much. So even with this footage, I have ums and filler words, we are going to use this footage right here to cut that out as an example, okay? That way you guys can see a good way of becoming more efficient, because having to do that manually with a video editing program is extremely tedious and very time consuming. So you'll see the benefit of that, and I think that's my main benefactor when it comes to Descript, but there are so many more things that you can do, and we'll try to like jump into those things, okay? One last thing that I want to mention is that I am going to be using the iPad. So my screen share is going to look a little bit different today, but it's going to be higher quality. That's one pro. A con is that the aspect ratio is different, so I might have to set a frame around it. So just bear with that. Once again, we're always improving, so next time I'll use a computer again, okay? I just like don't have it with me at the gym right now. And yeah, with that being said, let's jump into Descript. See you guys. Okay, here we are. So this is the iPad, if you guys remember. First off, I want to apologize because I know that it took a little bit more time to get this together. I have to applaud Descript for updating and upgrading their software, but they gave me a lot to work through before I was able to actually make the screen recording here. So they have a lot of features now available that we'll go through in a little bit more detail here. Once I explain the user interface a little bit, we'll check out the pricing and the plans. I have that window set up right here, and we can look at that briefly. But we're also just going to talk about the features that we'd probably most commonly use. And since we're going to be working on a free plan, there's a lot of features that are available for testing purposes, and I should have enough credits so that we can work through this. And yeah, let's just get started on the user interface, and then we'll look at the pricing, okay? So this screen right here is considered a D drive. And so as soon as you set up your free account and log in, this is the screen that you're brought to. Now, Descript has 3 different ways of utilizing their software, which are all web applications. So regardless if you go through like their online interface, which this would be considered the online interface because I logged in through their website and then was brought to this screen. You can also download, if you have a Windows or Mac-based computer, the official application and install it on your computer, which I don't know if there's like a big difference. I think that on my iPad here, I feel like this left bar right here doesn't have as many options available, but then again, that could have something to do with their update, because I think a lot of features were moved into the editor directly, which we'll get to in just a second. But yeah, with that being said, so there's these 3 different, I guess, experiences you could call them, or 3 different user interfaces, but essentially they all work through this web Descript application right here. Okay, so you can install it on a Windows computer. I'm using it on a mobile right now through the online interface. You can also install it on a Mac computer. All right. So one of the most helpful resources here is the Learn Descript tab, I would say. In case you need to learn like individual features, they have some really good videos. They have been getting a lot better at making these videos. In the beginning, it was interesting for a video editor app to have, I don't want to say low quality videos, but you could tell that the founders or the employees had not made their own videos yet, but created an amazing software to help you make videos. So with that being said, the videos have gotten a lot better, and they're like a lot easier on the eye and a lot easier to watch. And yeah, they're very interesting. So I would definitely recommend that you come here and check out a couple of their videos. They are short, quick, concise, and they're doing a really good job at improving. Okay, so this is where you could learn the basics of Descript. It does so much. And so with that being said, let's just go through the user interface. So on the left-hand side, it starts off with the drive that you have, basically. You can add members, you can upgrade your plan, which we'll look at that shortly, and your settings, basically, which we can click on that to look at it, but you'll just have your general settings for your plan and your account settings, profile. You can obviously make a profile, what kind of notifications you get. You can connect apps to it. Descript with Zoom, yeah, exactly. So you could have your Zoom meetings basically being directly sent into Descript, and therefore you would have a transcription available for each meeting that you had. For your drive, preferences, members, if you actually have a team plan or multiple people added to your plan, which we'll see in the pricing in a second, your subscription. The usage, this is good because, see, I have 2 out of 5 uses right here. I think you get these every month on the free. So Underlord is the AI that is nested in the software right here to help you with tasks like refilling, I'm sorry, not refilling, but removing filler words and, yeah, doing like changes to the script that then make changes to the video, which you'll see in just a second, okay? Underlord Advanced AI Suite, these are like translations basically and proofreading of translations. So that's a feature that you only get in the business model. Text to speech minutes, so I have 5 minutes that are available. I still have 0 minutes used as of now. Regenerate, this is basically for scripts themselves so that it generates the script. So 0 out of 5 uses there. Dubbing minutes, this is a very interesting feature. I think it's great. This is essentially, so in Descript, when you load in your transcription or your script basically, then what you can't do is you can't really add to it. So let's say you make a mistake in terms of the wording. You can remove it and basically have the video adjusted and cut to where that scene or that word is simply removed, and then you just have to hope for a smooth transition, which a lot of people do these cuts, hard cuts they call them, so it's pretty common, and therefore it probably wouldn't be recognized immediately by any viewer. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, but it is a cool feature because you can basically add text where you like misspoke or said the wrong thing, and then it uses a trained AI speaker, which is right here. We'll get to that in a second. It uses a trained voice model of yours or one of the stock models. If you find one that is like very close to your voice, then you can use a stock model speaker, and you can overdub once again like words that were misspoken or said wrong or whatever the case may be. It will actually make that word work in there somehow once it's corrected. Okay, so transcription activity. So I haven't done any since February 1st, and invoices if I was paying. This is where you could have access to that. Okay, so let's check out the very first one, which would be projects. So I have 2 projects loaded in. Okay, I noticed basically this is my very first video, if you guys remember. I've noticed that this one has this little global icon here, and you can basically click on that and I'll take you to the page that this video right here was made public. So I was like not aware at the time, and I think this is a part of the update as well, is that you have these workspaces down here, and whatever is created in the private workspace will actually stay private and only you can view it, like this video for example, because it doesn't have the global icon associated with it. And then Sean's Drive workspace right here, if I just create a project and I don't assign it to the private workspace, it just becomes a global project that anyone can look into and potentially edit. I'm not 100% sure on that one though. But if you click this page right here, it basically opens up the page with the transcript and whatnot. And as you can see, here's the watermark that the script will actually place on the video that you create at the end and export through Descript. These can always easily be removed by simply having an overlay over them, or just like replacing it with a YouTube icon or whatever you want to do. Honestly, I mean, there's also like removal tools online that just like take these watermarks out with AI and just replace the background pretty much by simply looking at the pixels behind it. But yeah, anyway, long story short, that's for a different video. Just saying that this all becomes public right here, and that is it. So yeah, once again, back to the projects page. We will start a new project in just a second after we look at the pricing comparison and the feature set that you get with the different pricing models. And yeah, I mean, we can look at templates real quick. They have some templates that you can create your own self, but you have to upgrade to a paid plan. There are also templates that you can get from them, but I tend to think that that won't show up until you have a paid plan, because like right now it's going off my drive in my private. So Um, templates are pretty cool in Descript because like you can create these templates as you go. And let's say you just have like one way of making videos, if you can like shorten down the process of simply like, having a template that removes filler words every time, that takes care of pauses, that uh, creates clips, after the fact, of your long form video, for example, and just creates these shorts for you automatically. Like say you want all these processes basically automated, you can do that in templates. There's a very good video on it. It's very complex, I feel like, for someone that's just starting off, but it definitely is a game changer. I think if you get to that point, like even the owners seem to be pretty impressed by it and have a hard time to like explain all of the features because it just seems so vast of everything that you can basically automate and shorten down in terms of workflow. So with that being said, like I'm rambling on. I just want to get to the AI speakers real quick. Okay, so here you can create a new speaker, and it basically just trains based on a recording of yours. So you can just speak into it and train it, and then it will basically create an AI speaker, right? According to whatever voice that you use to record this. So let's look at the pricing models real quick, okay? So here's the actual official page from Descript for pricing, and it includes the free plan. A lot of pages that I go to, it does not list the free um, abilities that this has right here. So anyway, the hobbyist, I'm just going to tell you flat out, annual prices are $12 a month if you just pay for the whole year, which is super affordable because it's 50% off if you go by the annual. The creator is double that, I believe, 24 on an annual. And the business, I can't remember exactly, but I think it's $39. And that's if you pay yearly. Now these prices go up significantly because, like, once again, I think you're only paying 50% on an annual compared to hobbyist is 24, creator becomes I think 39, and then business is like $70, I believe, if you want to do it from month to month. I think honestly, no matter how you do it, you will get your money worth out of this. I personally would say go month to month until you like really realize that you are using this like consistently and you are always maxing out, whatever hours that you may have, because I think you first have to determine how much of what you're going to use. Because once again, this is feature packed. It's crazy. I mean, you have your transcription features right here pretty much, which one of the biggest features honestly is the languages, because you can actually translate these transcriptions into, yeah, you can see all these languages right here, a lot of them. Okay, so 25, I'm not going to read them all out. You can come back here and research this yourself. You can detect up to eight speakers at once, and it will basically like part them out and give each speaker their own identity, and therefore it's easy for you to then chop up and cut up and overlay and do your normal video editing tasks, but you don't have to cut the scenes according to the speakers. That's already done. Multi-track transcription, really, really cool. So like, let's say you have different camera angles, right? And then it will actually create a multi-track based on that. So like you'll have one transcription with multiple angles, but you can like switch back and forth between them, okay? Transcription glossary, I'm not really sure. Create a custom dictionary of words. Okay, cool, yeah. So you can basically like correct words and things like that as you go on, as you see that the transcription software is making common mistakes or ongoing mistakes. You can like basically change them right here and correct the system. Okay, captions, super powerful, and you get unlimited captions, which is very beautiful. You can do that in CapCut, obviously, but they have some really good captions here. Transitions, animation, okay, and this is all on the free plan. So custom font upload, this is branding. You don't get that until you get into creator or business. I don't think paying extra for that by itself is worth it. Underlord AI Assistant, 5 uses means that you can use 5 different features that are listed on the left-hand side right here. And crazy enough, they are all available for the free version. And I have used these even on a 30-minute video, and it only took 1 use for 30 minutes. And a 3-minute video, it took 1 use for 3-minute video. So it's interesting. It doesn't discriminate between the length of the video, and it still does the same function, but what it will do is studio sound. It will actually, we can probably use that here because I do have some background noise. It will actually balance out the sound and make it sound like a studio sound, like there's no background noise and blah, blah, blah. All the stuff that you would do to like enhance your audio. Green screen effect. So yeah, self-explanatory these days, but you can take your persona and mask them out and remove the background, and it replaces it with a green screen, and therefore you can put any background behind your character that you would like to. A lot of times that's pretty good if you actually have a screenshot of something that you're trying to show that is happening online, and you want your person to stand in front of that, basically explaining it. Shorten word gaps, it just takes out these little or long pauses in between things. Like let's say you're getting up to go grab something or whatever. Not that doesn't really have to be in a video. Repurpose media, super cool. You can create these clips that I was talking about earlier, create shorts. Edit for clarity, very cool. Remove filler words, digressions, blather. So that kind of like does everything in one, not just the filler word removal, but like filler word, shorten word gaps, and what was the last one? Blather. Yeah, so just like words that don't have any meaning, I guess, you know. Remove retakes, cut all but your best takes. Okay. Automatic multicam, yeah, that's pretty cool too. Center active speaker. Okay, so like, yeah, that's pretty good too. Actually, I've used that, I think, on my 3-minute video. And image generation, you know, you can create like these little extra elements that you can drag into your video basically. So image generation is one of them. Publish draft, social post, blog post. Okay, I don't know about this. Write, brainstorm, you know, so this is just like a normal writer basically, that you could do in ChatGPT as well. Then here, this is very cool, Advanced AI Suite, and you don't get this with the free version, but eye contact. So if you're looking somewhere different, like on my iPad, for example, my camera's to the left. If I was to utilize this feature right here, it would basically just center my eyes looking at the camera instead, and it does a really good job at it. Translate feature, as you can see right here, it translates your transcript and captions into 23 languages. Okay, so like that's not available right here. It's a pretty cool feature, honestly. I mean, I'm definitely gonna want to use this. I'm just not sure if I want to go for the creator package just yet. Okay, translation proofread is only available on the business plan, and that is basically someone like professionally reading your transcript to make sure that the translation is accurate. So yeah, all the other ones I would say you want to look at this, you know, because I believe the creator package is really where it's at, honestly, but you have to be able to justify that usage, because I don't know if I could even get close to these and max these all out, you know. I'd be hobbyist in terms of maxing it out, but then I don't get the features that I would like to have. Like the native sounding AI speakers would be great to have, you know, honestly. I mean, I can always get a 11 Labs and then just have that and just bring that in. But anyway, long story short, um, remote recording, this is pretty much like multiple people getting into almost like a Zoom meeting, and each one is actually recording their session, and then it just like puts it all together in a screen for you. Okay. Templates, as you see, stock templates like I was talking about. So you have access to the stock templates. I just don't see them right now, but we can figure that out another time. Stock library. Okay, so like they have elements that you can basically pull in once again from the stock library, whether that be music or video elements. You know, the first 5 search results are free a month, and then first 12 here, and then everything is unlimited after. Collaboration, export and publish. This is, I think, the main difference between most of these. You can get 4K in a creator package for export purposes. 1080p is generally enough, but you don't get that until you go into the hobbyist and pay your $12 a month for the yearly or $24 a month for the monthly. And what is interesting is here it's not just 720p, but you do get a watermark on top of your recording, while on a 1080p you don't. And so like that's the big plus pro right there. And then obviously all the other ones don't have that either. Okay. File size uploads up to 1 gigabyte, so you have to make sure that your videos aren't bigger than 1 gigabyte. So 4K, I don't know what that amounts to, but that's maybe like 10 minutes max. Okay, so that's why I was like pretty surprised about like that 30-minute video. I mean, I'm not sure like what size it was, because oh, that was a 720p. So like, yeah, that's why it probably like wasn't over 1 gigabyte. But anyway, yeah, you can load up to 1 gigabyte per upload in there, right? And here up to 10 gigabytes, 4K, up to 150 megabytes per second. This is where you get like the bigger numbers, because up to 1 gigabyte per second, that's a lot of bit rate. So cloud storage limit, this is the drive that we were talking about. I have 5 GB of drive space in there. Once you delete something, then you have more space available. So you can just like stay very organized, and just like take out what you don't need in here because you already have saved on your computer or whatever. And then just keep working those 5 GB, but obviously it's going to be easier to do with 100 GB, and it's going to be way easier to do with 1 TB. So with that being said, you get in-app live support, always super helpful on all the paid plans. You don't get it on a free plan, but you can get email support. So if you have like 24 hours to get a certain problem solved, and for the hobbyist and free guy, this is perfect. So let's get into the actual projects. Okay, and so we're going to talk about today's projects. Okay, this is take number 7. And I sure hope that this time I'm able to like move through this because it's been a lot of time invested and I am having a hard time screen recording with my iPad. But I did a couple of fixes, I think, and maybe this will fix the problem. I had a lot of background apps running, so I closed all of them out, and hopefully this will be a recording that goes all the way through. So yeah, this is the editor interface, and once you choose a project, then it brings you into this window. And unfortunately, it's an unsupported browser, so I'm not going to be able to show you guys the preview of the video, but I'll be able to show you guys the interface and explain why this is such a valuable tool to use for just basic YouTube editing, and explain a couple of the other features that will help you with podcasts and other things. But generally speaking, this is a text-based video editor, if you wanted to say so. Not that you have to prompt it, but I'm just saying like your transcript is loaded in automatically when you upload a video and create a new project. And this will be showcased or represented as a scene. Since I have one video, this is my very first video. If you haven't watched it, I recommend that you do. Once this video, once I get on a computer and I'm actually able to publish this, I will publish it. And if anyone wants to see the cut down version, so this went from 3 minutes and 9 seconds to 2 minutes and 39 seconds by simply going to Underlord right here and then editing for clarity. So editing for clarity removes filler words, digressions, and blather. So it took out 40 seconds worth on a video that was already pretty short. But yeah, that's one scene, one speaker, and one transcript. Now, if I had multiple speakers in here, it would, as you can see right here, Sean is labeled. So it's basically detecting that only one speaker is in here. But if there were multiple speakers in here, it would label each one of the speakers with their adjacent name. If they don't have a name, then you would basically fill in that name for that speaker right there. And with that being done, you can then cut the video accordingly, and you can also like take the speakers and have them on their own scene if they all follow subsequently to each other. And if not, it'll be in this format. So like per scene, you'll have all the speakers in there if they're like going back and forth, for example. But again, this can look different depending on the speakers and the video files that you have entered. So if I had more video files uploaded, there'd be more scenes in here as well. Okay, and that will make more sense once we get onto the right panel right here. That is for the scene specific settings as well as the project specific settings. Okay, I'm just like going to keep going through these different interface options. One of the big ones, and that's like very granular, and I would say you can go in here and play around and look at it. But yeah, file, edit, view, it gives you a more granular control of like different functionalities as well as keyboard shortcuts to different functions. Okay, so you can just speed up your process by simply looking at this and learning the keyboard shortcuts. But essentially, like this right here does a lot of what can be done over here, okay? But just on a more granular level. And with that being said, here you can write a script. This is good for podcasting. So like if you want to create a script from scratch, because this once again is not an AI avatar, so it won't like adapt to you changing text around here. You can take away from it. It's basically a video editor, so it cuts everything according to whatever text is in here. So if I was to, for example, go down to the timeline, which now it's not allowing me to do that, but yeah, okay, here we go. If you go to the timeline, you see your different layers in here. So this is my video and audio layer. This here is my text layer, my text-based layer, right? So these are the captions right here. So this text right here will show up as a caption, and these layers right here are all the same length right now. Now, if I add more files and more scenes and whatnot, the captions layer right here will just extend out. But what will happen is it will create multiple captions per scene, and you can actually delete all the individual ones and then just like make this one longer, and it'll understand that you're trying to put all the captions into one layer instead of having them separated out. But sometimes the separation makes a lot of sense too if there's different speakers and things of that nature. Okay, so then every other layer that you add in here will show up right here, which here is layers right here, layer options. But then also down here, the elements that you pull onto a layer will show up down here as its own layer, and so forth, you know. So that is the timeline. The timeline functions like a basic video editor timeline. Okay, it has like cutting and inserting and the normal features, the basic features that you're used to. Here you can like control your markers and put in the chapters. Okay, so like you see right here, you can add chapters and it will automatically do that for you with the Underlord AI feature if you wanted to, and then you can just jump from those chapters from one to the other. Okay, so with that being said, as I had mentioned, the captions in the video, you'll see this blue box right here, which would be an element. So like usually you would see the video preview right here, but we don't have that right now. But again, you can click on this and then you could actually change the individual captions as well, which let's look at them right here. Here you can see a preview of what it would look like if you hover over them. This is the one I chose with the black background, with the blue background. And so you can change those colors here, text background of the bar, and you could change the fonts and add effects and animations and whatnot. And so basically these are just starting points, and you can change these up however you want to. This one has a waveform built into it, so that's pretty cool. Okay, and here are your elements. Elements can also be pulled in as a layer, right? Boom, boom. You just pull a frame on here or whatever you want to do. It's very, very much like Canva, honestly. You can have a placeholder, so like before the video starts, you know, there will be a picture and image, for example, showing like a thumbnail. That would be a good idea. Titles and whatnot, so these will be title layers and stuff like that. But like per layer, like every time you pull in, you know, you're basically creating another layer. So yeah, that's elements for you. And then record functionality right here allows you to record yourself pretty much, or do a screen record. And then here are options. So like these are layer options. So for like the layers that are created, you know, you can have these general settings adjusted pretty much, you know, size and position, obviously, what kind of text those layers will have in them, and style, visual effects like shadows behind the text, you know, to make the text pop a little bit more, animations of the text, you know, basically wandering in, wandering out, those kind of things. You can translate these captions as well, which is a beta feature. I think you need to upgrade a plan for that. Then scene options. So for every scene, you can change the options basically. Are all the scenes, these are generic options for all scenes, pretty much like a starting point, you know, that you would set up. So like you can choose a layout, for example. Let's say you do a multicam setup where two people are talking to each other, you know, you can choose this layout. Our captions layout, the captions are already integrated in, you know, with this nice little frame around it, but you can change every single element, you know, according to how you would like yours to look. But they're just starting points. They make everything a little bit faster and better. And then you have your project right here. So if you have more video files loaded in, they will show up right here. It's pretty much just a easier way to look at these things. You can add files right here as well, you know, and then you have your menu options right here as well. Okay, so you can create a new folder, create a sequence. Okay. Yeah, and then I guess once again, the underlord functionality is like mainly what you would be using. You can change the aspect ratio of the video and some video settings basically on it as well. And here you can change your entire layout. So if you want the text on the right side and the video on the left side and whatnot, you can do that right here. Yeah, I think those are all the features except for like publish. You know, once you hit publish, it'll ask you like in what kind of quality you want to export it, and just like the normal export features that you would find in a video editing software. But for the most part here, this text is all shortened down and is all super efficient at this point. I can't wait to like listen to it myself. But yeah, this is the functionality in here. Once again, I wish you guys could like see the video itself, you know, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. You guys know the very first video, you know where to find it. If you haven't seen the first video, watch it. And then if you guys really want to see this one right here, just let me know in the comment section below and I'll post it in a Google Drive link or something like that so you guys can watch them next to each other. But again, with that being said, so going forward, this is like the last episode of the YouTube's Get Started series, and I think you have all the tools that you need to like make your YouTube life as easy as possible. And going forward, we're going to get into AI automations. I'm going to have a couple informational videos about AI because like a lot has happened in the past couple of months. And yeah, there's so much great progress being made. It is very mind blowing to just talk about it. So we're going to do that for a second for the next two videos. And then we're going to dive into actual automations. And the platform we're going to use to start off with is going to be make.com. But I do think that we're going to switch to N8N since everybody that I watch and deal with and talk to is now switching to N8N. And it just seems like the platform that is going to grow the most over this next upcoming year. So, but with that being said, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Just leave a comment if there's something specific you want me to talk about, and like and subscribe. And I will see you guys at the next one. Thank you for watching.